Now, the third area was ensuring Australia's fuel security, and Angus has already spoken at more length about that yesterday. But the COVID crisis has highlighted the importance of robust supply chains for the essentials of daily life, and that includes liquid fuel. Without fuel, you can't restock supermarkets, you can't drive the doctor, you can't get home to the family. Australia's fuel supply chains have proven resilient over recent decades. This is something we should be proud of, including through major market and supply disruptions. But as refineries have closed under competitive pressure, Australia has become more reliant on imported petroleum products. This is a reality. Australia needs to be prepared for a more unpredictable, less favourable global environment, both strategically and economically. And when it comes to fuel security, we must safeguard against low probability, high impact events which could disrupt our supply chains. We must be prudent and develop additional buffers to bolster our resilience. That's why the government will secure a domestic fuel reserve by regulating a minimum level of industry stock holdings of petrol, jet fuel and diesel. This means more supplies of critical fuel onshore to help safeguard supply chains. Under our plan, industry will maintain petrol and jet fuel stocks at least at long-term historic average levels of 24 days of consumption cover. Industry will be obliged to increase national stocks of diesel beyond the recent average of 20 days to 28 days, an increase of around 5 million barrels. And this is in line with the findings of the government's liquid fuel security review. Now, these obligations will flow through to the second part of our fuel security plan, which is about driving a major expansion of national fuel storage capacity. This will see the construction and operation of an additional 780 million litres of liquid fuel storage in Australia. This will strengthen our fuel security, supporting investment in jobs in cities and towns right across the country. And we will minimise costs while ensuring this new storage maximises resilience. And we will work with industry to design legislative changes and a market-based mechanism to give effect to the stock holding obligation. Guaranteeing Australia's sovereign oil refining capability is the third component of our fuel security plan. Over the last decade, 3 fuel refineries have ceased operating and permanently converted to import terminals, one in my own beloved Shire, in Kurnell. These were economic decisions driven by increased regional competition and relative price of imported crude and fuel. But this leaves us with less ability to produce crude oil here in Australia and increases our reliance on international imports. Australia must have a refining capability into the future, and this capability provides security. It keeps downward pressure on prices and it does enable downstream industries. And in the national interests and to secure the long-term future of the sector, the government has begun discussions with the remaining refineries and relevant state governments about a design of a production payment to recognise the critical fuel security role these facilities play. Now, these steps complement the government's decisive action earlier this year to take advantage of low oil prices and secure 1.5 million barrels of crude oil stored in the United States Strategic Petroleum Reserve.